My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast. That's probably the most we can play before we actually get
Have to pay
royalties.
for rights.
That's somewhat appropriate, really.
Yeah. Welcome to a night that's as pointless as the lowercase setting on Donald Trump's Twitter.
It's as pointless as Channel 10's new TV show.
It's as pointless as women on Channel 10.
In the next couple of months, apparently.
Yeah.
Who knew? And more importantly, though, because we're going to come to the pointless shit and we're going to come to the horrible stuff, but I promised something last night on Twitter, and by God, if I'm not going to deliver it, I said this was going to be a joyous occasion.
It is!
It finally happened. The judges finally said something negative about a dish that was made by Chloe. And she's gone.
Yes.
It has taken all season. Mm-hmm. And when they did the montage, by the way, of all of her greatest dishes...
It was mostly things that she was making of other people's recipes.
To try to survive. There was none of her noodles. There was none of her... noodles. There was none of her noodles. Remember when she made those noodles?
I have to say that you were ecstatic.
I was thrilled.
I was numb. I had this too little too late feeling. I thought I'd feel something, and quite frankly, by that time I'm just like, well, a lot of good people have gone home.
Yeah, but she's not holding the trophy up. And we're not going to be subjected to a year of promos telling us that she is the Masterchef of Australia. Her name will not be on the same platform as Elena Duggan.
Thank fuck. But it also disappoints me because if this year is going to be as wretched and as on the trajectory that it's taking, which is like a fast crash into the side of a overinflated parfait mountain, is that we're not going to get the Ben v. Chloe.
No, we're going to get Ben versus Ben.
Yes.
I'm quite sure after tonight the judges would like Ben to fight Ben in the grand final. So let's go through it. Mm-hmm. So last night they built it up as the challenge is coming in as one of the most daunting challenges we've ever had.
Oh.
He's responsible for restaurants like Fat Duck. And everyone went, oh my God, it's him.
Coming.
It's him. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, faux Heston.
Not the Heston.
And
sound of two people clapping. You got to do the other person. You be Khan, I'll be Sashi. Oh, sorry, Ben. Sorry, I just feel that Sashi should have been there too.
And look, he's awesome, and obviously he's a good chef, and he's an amazing chef. And obviously he was forewarning of the arrival of Heston. He's like one of the horsemen of the apocalypse riding in. You know that Heston's behind somewhere.
He's the official messenger. You know when King Henry's doing his it's a grand tour. No, what do they do? They do the tour through the countryside to get people to swear fealty. Yeah. He goes forth and announces who's coming.
I thought he might have gone in there to suss the place out and make sure. He
arrives with a luggage train to set up.
No, I'm sure he went to suss the place out to make sure that that nobody was able to take him out. He's going in and maybe tasting all the food just so that Heston doesn't get poisoned. So last night...
No overuse of Tonka beans.
Look, last night, to be honest with you, the challenge itself was a 15 billion step process that was only notable for one thing, Sashi setting fire to the recipe.
Which, he's like, I'm that good. Fuck it, I'm going to make this challenge.
And then he asked, and he asked Jess, and Jess went, yeah, sure, no problems, and gave him page 5. And went, why do you need page 5? And he just held it up. And her comment, which was brilliant, you get hungry there, Sashi. It's much faster than I expected.
Yes, it was.
And that was notable. And the other thing that was notable about the challenge, to be honest with you, had nothing to do with what was happening on the floor. No. Last night we were introduced, we were not introduced, but we were, I said at the start of the night, I really hope we get Ben commentary.
Oh, well, weren't you in for a surprise?
Last night we were introduced to what I referred to on Twitter as #BenSays. Now...
Ben-splaining.
Which included one of my favourite comments, which was from Joe on Twitter at McComsky, which was, shut up, ribs. Okay, so this is some of the amazement and wonderment
that is Ben-splaining.
That was Ben-splaining, all right? So Ben is up on the gantry. Read that recipe. Chloe, let's go. and by the way, I'm saying it at the same tempo and tone that he did. Interestingly enough, when Sashi set fire to the bench, and he actually needed to enunciate and be clear, Sashi, benches of fire. Sashi, the bench, and Sashi's like, what?
I can't hear you.
Sashi's the benches of fire, the benches of fire. And Sashi's like, what? And then turns around and there's a flame.
Yeah. My recipe's on fire. Is that what you were trying to tell me, Ben?
Sashi's on fire.
Yes, that's what I was trying to tell you. Couldn't you understand me?
No, that's too much emotion.
Yeah, sorry.
The next thing that he threw up with as well, she's got nothing going. Then, what's going on?
I'm just picturing him in a post-apocalypse Family Guy episode.
Still getting better, yeah. Just Ben saying what he sees. Sweet little chef with a spoon. Looking at Sashi far too soon. Hey there, Jess. You look a mess. So, also things like they all came out whole.
That's what she said.
I know. Yeah, of course. That was again another
insightful.
It was so insightful. So, and my favourite one, which was after Sashi's recipe caught on fire, Ben goes, "Sashi, did you need that?"
Ben really is the poster child of Channel 10 at the moment. He's an 18 to 45-year-old white male who's got nothing really of substance to say.
He's not a bad guy. He's a nice guy. He's a lovely guy. He's showing he can cook some stuff. That's good. Yeah. Good for him. Not hating on him, but like seriously.
He is a slow burn. These are the two observations I've made about Ben and Jess over the past season, right? Ben, I felt that he had potential, but he needed time to develop, and he is a slow burn. Sorry, Sashi, who is a quick burn. I don't find him exciting. I think he needs a lot of coaching, as we saw in tonight's challenge. I know he can pick up skills well, but he's not there yet.
He's not a top 4.
Jess, on the other hand, and it was proved in last night's challenge that with the right mentorship, with the right environments, Jess can gain so many skills and go far. She's hit Masterchef too early.
Yeah, and our point we've made all season and been yelled at for all season was not that Jess was horrible, and people kept on saying that what we were saying was that Jess was horrible. At no point have we said that. What we have said consistently was, much like, and I made this point in the last podcast with Leah as well, much like Callan, where they took Callan in the wrong direction, then when he made a misstep, were shocked.
Yeah.
They haven't helped Jess become Jess as she can be, and she will be. And it's just a bit sad to watch. So we also had last night everyone commenting on Khan up on the gantry watching all of those mushrooms.
That's why he's quiet. I think he was just having a bit of a emotional moment, just watching those mushrooms and
now
seeing that.
A bit of a controversial statement coming up here from me on the Marin.
Yeah. Consomme come alive.
Did it remotely look like a dish that was worth that many steps?
No.
It didn't. It looked like a dish where you put a couple of things on a plate in a circle and put a sauce in the middle.
It looks like a little garland of food. I mean,
unless you were sashi, in which case it looked like a big garland of food.
Which I'm totes there.
I'm like fine for the big lot of Marin. That was great.
Yeah. Like
Sashi serving human sizes.
Yeah. So, I'm down for Sashi with his big garland of Marin. I would happily thread fucking wire through that shit and wear it, because while you're at the festival wearing a garland,
you can gnaw on it.
You can just gnaw on it. Just pick off a bit of Marin.
I like the fact that you're here talking about multiple use clothing. It's great.
Oh my God. I've now got ideas for pagan gatherings.
Oh God. I love to move on while you think about that. Now, we also saw the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen in MasterChef, or possibly even on Australian television. We saw two men applaud the removal of a whole digestive tract. They pulled a whole digestive tract out of a Marin.
That was Jess.
And Ben and Khan just burst into applause on the gantry.
Poop shoot's gone. Woo! Wonderful. It's high art. You don't get it. There are toasts. Just as they're making a statement about, the world today and
how she can't swallow this anymore.
No, yes, exactly. She's like, this is shit and I'm removing the passage of shit. And Khan's like, oh, that's beautiful, Dal. You just bring that. Yes, I'm seeing that at the Adelaide Fringe. I'm presuming Khan goes extra queen when he's being impersonated by me.
Or he's seeing that after he eats his absinthe granita. Talk about that later. Khan, call me. So Sashi managed to rescue a dish from absolute despair.
Yes.
To be really damn good. Mm-hmm. In terms of his consomme and stuff like that was really nice.
Yeah. They all turned out lovely consommes, which was great because I'm down for a mushroom consomme.
And also...
You know what I'm not down for? A mushroom consomme.
No, which was being said a lot too.
And it's like just a soft tea there, May. It's not...
There shouldn't even be tea in there.
Maybe it's an Aussie version.
Oh,
you whack some Vegemite in it.
Oh, no.
You get some consommate.
What do you got on that dish? Consommate.
Oh, my God. This is what you do for an Australian booty call, right?
Oh, God.
Who's that? It's my consommate.
Oh.
Not my fuck buddy. It's my consommate.
Oh, God.
What are you going to do? I'm going to consommate that.
Oh, shit. I apologise, people at home.
I don't. Enjoy. Take that word and make it become a thing.
I don't want to see the BuzzFeed article in 5 years' time talking about Australian consummates. God damn it. All right. So, and also we just have to comment, and again, this will get some comments, and I don't give a shit. Jess giving Sashi the page out of her recipe.
Yeah.
Was wonderful.
Yes.
It was lovely. Mm-hmm. But for everybody who said that's the true Masterchef spirit...
Bullshit.
You haven't been watching Bake Off.
No.
That is the Bake Off spirit.
Yep.
Not to go there, but I've just gone there and got a problem with me? Watch Bake Off. All right. So we then ended up with... It was really... I don't know. It was, how do I describe this? There's two things that happened almost simultaneously. The first was Khan really in-depth explained a technique that was happening down on the floor. And Ben just looked at him, nodded and went, yeah, of course. In a way that confirmed to me that Ben did not know what was being said.
NFI.
No, exactly. And
there is nothing that Ben does that doesn't tell me he's still on a learning curve.
Okay, put it this way. If Ben actually does legitimately understand all of these techniques and he is playing dumb, this is the greatest act I have ever seen. Mm-hmm. It is wonderful, and my good man, you're a genius. The other thing that happened at this time, and it was very quiet because they've been selling the Sashi narrative, and I said to everyone at the start of the night when they all went on worried about Sashi, my comment was the editing is too obvious on the ad. Sashi's fine.
And so I was worried for Jess.
I was terrified for Jess. I thought it was Jess. And then we had a moment which it sort of put me into conflict and turmoil. Because on one hand, you saw that Chloe had made a misstep with her Marin, with her Marin that she was doing.
Yeah, she popped the citrus in.
However, the reason why it was such a conflict for me. Everybody who's ever listened to this podcast knows I have issues with yuzu.
It was yuzu.
I have issues with yuzu because I think it's overused.
But in this case, it was the yuzu assassin.
And suddenly...
It redeemed itself in your eyes?
It's my hero. And I've actually said on Twitter, if this happens, I'm going to have to make something with yuzu. So I'm now going to have to make something with yuzu. Maybe a yuzu granita. No, a hero doesn't come along. Oh, shit.
Feel like hope is gone. Look to yuzu and it will overcook shit. It will... Oh, what's that word called?
I don't know.
It's the one where you cook it in citrus, and I can...
Marinade?
No, it's not Mariana or marinate. It's the other one.
Mariana. Marinara.
People are
Mariana.
yelling down their speakers. Go, oh my fucking God, Kristie, get out of Jeopardy mode.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
We'll move on. We'll come back to it later because you'll remember it suddenly.
Yeah,
We'll be in the middle of something else and it'll just bleh.
Yeah.
Right, so Matt Preston also last night used the phrase Jess and her magic fingers. And I, for one, am disturbed.
I, for one, just boldly say the only time you mention magic fingers is when you're looking for something at a sex shop.
Or you're Artie Ziff in The Simpsons. I don't know, we said busy fingers, but I'd like to think more it was like Marge, me and my magic fingers. So the last part of this, before we got to the actual decision where they sent Chloe home and Twitter went into celebratory meltdown, was Gary Meehan acting like a mob boss with Sashi.
Ceviche.
So he started off... Mm-hmm. God, I knew it was coming.
Go back.
There's the word. Okay.
There you go. Sorry, I wasn't concentrating because it's popping out.
Gary Meehan acting like a mob boss with Sashi. So, so first of all, Chloe plates up and there are obvious problems and they say there are obvious problems.
There's something wrong with the texture of this marin.
Jess presents hers and it's fine. Sashi comes in. Gary looks at him, leans over the desk a bit and goes, no one's made a mistake so far. Those dishes have been perfect. What makes you think that you're going to be able to pull this off? Are you going to be able to pull this off? And I'm like, first of all, you're lying. You've already said the first dish sucked. Secondly...
Maybe it doesn't count because she's white.
Secondly, why the fuck are you now... You've gone from mind games to intimidation. Like, it was half a step away from, nice dish you've got there, shame if I dropped it on the floor.
It'd be a shame if something happened to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, shame. So they've been messing with, we said, Khan and Sashi, and like last night they tried it again. Unfortunately for them, Chloe's dish was a bit of a disaster, and she went home.
The only negative thing they can say about Sashi is, oh, it's too big. He's served us too much fucking marin. Oh, whoop-dee.
Oh no, he's given us too much food. All right, so then tonight was supposed to be the advantage between Ben and Khan, and we open up with all four of you will be... Wait, what? Hang on.
So it was supposed to be an advantage between Ben and Khan, and we get all four of them fucking cooking.
So what we worked out was...
Their advantage was they didn't go to the fucking elimination.
So what the advantage was you skip the elimination and you would be cooking as part of the group going for the advantage. That's not what they said.
No.
They said that you two will be fighting for the advantage, right? The idea...
Inferring it was against each other.
Thinking about this, right? If you are those two, would you not be pissed off that you won this advantage only to find out you were then cooking against everybody? And furthermore, it was a head-to-head challenge. Mm-hmm. And furthermore, again, it was seasonal.
Let's just reflect on that word, because I think it's a term that they like to bandy around in the Masterchef kitchen, but don't actually know how to put it into practice when they come to judging.
Well, the first thing we learnt tonight was that Queensland doesn't have winter.
Really?
According to Ben.
Is it the Summerlands? Is this
because Ben decided he was going to do seafood. And when they said something to him about it, I'm making a bisque. But when they said something about it, his response was, we don't really have winter in Queensland, so I'm doing things that are a bit lighter. No, you've got fucking winter in Queensland. I've been there for it. It's been -1 where I was. Mm-hmm. I froze. I complained to my friends from Brisbane. I said, it's fucking cold today. They went, we do have winter, you know. Proof.
Yeah. I just feel that, and the other thing too is that they're going, okay, you need to cook something within your season, but but everything's open, right? So it's a perfect opportunity for the judges to go, we need you to pick one ingredient that is definitely from that season and make that.
Give them a pantry.
Yes.
Give them a summer, autumn. No, but if you give it that, you can argue whether it's seasonal or not.
Yeah.
But the judges have now set guidelines as to what they consider it to be.
But you then, at this point in the competition, it's fucking finals week. Why not have everything open and tell them you need to draw on your knowledge and you need to pick one ingredient. You can have whatever the fuck else you want to go with it, as long as it comes off as a winter or a summer dish. Mm-hmm. But have one ingredient that's definitely seasonal to that thing, like that season, and present that as the main element of the dish.
Well, here's the big problem with it, right? First of all, what a dumb challenge for the Final Four. Secondly, it's consistency. And once again, we come back to this, consistency and instruction and rules. So Sashi goes off and is using fennel.
Yep.
As I pointed out, fennel is a winter ingredient.
Winter and spring.
Yeah. Now, what was pointed out, someone on Twitter went, oh, no, but it's used in summer salads. And I went, yes, it is. So what that demonstrates then is that most of this stuff now, with the way that we grow food, with the way we grow fruit and veg in particular, there's no such thing anymore as this seasonal concept. But I had no problem with Sashi using fennel. I had no issue. But this is the thing. The reason I had no issue with him using that, what I had an issue with, Jess is talking about her dish.
Yep.
She's running through all the things and she goes, and I've got my fresh raspberries ready because I don't want the dish to be too sweet. I'm going to use the raspberries to balance it. Matt Preston stops her and goes, but what season are raspberries grown in? Are they a winter? I think they're summer. I really think they're summer. I don't think they're winter. So he goes, you can't use them. Hang on a minute. So Sashi can use fennel, which is, again, all year round available, but is basically winter. Jess
uses raspberries,
which are available at Coles right now, all year round. You can go to Coles right now and buy raspberries. Yep. You can buy them, okay? She goes to use the raspberries. No, you can't do that. They're a summer, not a winter. But then she goes to make them into a raspberry jelly.
And they're fine with it.
And they've got no problem with it. So what was the problem?
Where is the fucking consistency? Like, if it's not outlined at the beginning of the challenge, like if they just wanted something that you would find comforting at that time of the year or enjoyable at that time of the year, like something light and fresh in summer and something, warm and comforting for winter, fine. But when you start throwing these arbitrary guidelines at contestants during the middle of it, fuck off. I am just... The Masterchef it has almost lost me. I know. I am ready to walk after this season. I'm only seeing this through because I'm backing Khan and Sashi. I'm also interested to see where Jess goes. Ben, I'm neither here nor there for him. I honestly think he's too basic to be in the finals week, but here we are. As I've always said, they needed their white cisgendered hetero man to be somewhere near the end. Otherwise, you're going to, I don't know, make Channel 10 implode because the KKK will come and kill it. Or they'll just lose all credibility because...
Now, the other question to ask, though, is with Jess's decision to do an opera cake.
Yep.
Can anybody tell us what opera cake has to do with winter?
Well, opera season's in winter?
No. Like, the Opera House looks good in winter.
It was
Peter Gilmore closes his restaurant in winter.
It was Dame Nellie Melba's favourite season,
and hence the name Peach Melba. No, wait, wrong.
Joan Sutherland was always known for better performances. Pavarotti happened to fornicate more in winter. I don't know.
There's a spot on the balcony at the Opera House in winter because it's too fucking cold.
Puccini was all about winter.
Why? Because you can't get fresh raspberries on the balcony in winter. They don't exist. That's all jelly.
Puccini just got the shits.
There's nothing but fucking raspberry jelly on the balcony in winter.
Wagner got a little, edgy when he couldn't get raspberries in winter.
Let's deal with the best dish out of the four of them. And again, we like Khan, but to be honest with you, the man made a fucking absinthe granita. My fondness for absinthe.
Yeah.
I mean what I said, Khan. Let's get a bottle. Let's go. Let's just go sit and drink it.
Look, it was more even you said, I've based it on, a pond in summer.
You could have got away with it.
Concept gone. But your granita melted.
It melted. He was never going to beat Sashi on that. And Sashi made a really good dish.
And, the only person who can serve something up melted and win is Reese. We know this.
But what Khan made looked incredible. Although I'm not a big fan of the pudding, I won't lie. But you didn't need the pudding. You just needed the granita. Look, you know how much I hate granita. I would have been perfectly fine with an absinthe granita.
Yeah.
And what else are you making? It's summer. I don't have to fucking do anything else. It's an absinthe granita. Although what I will say is that technically if you want to go for a seasonal thing, absinthe... more a bit of a winter warmer. So just to be consistent here, everybody used something that wasn't a fucking season. All right. So we got the showdown we've all been waiting for, Ben versus Sashi. Yeah, I know. Don't. People at home, I hear you. Don't. Let's pretend, shall we? Let's pretend. So they decide they're going to break with tradition now, and they're going to extend themselves, and we're going to finally have a real show. Hang on, wait a minute. What? Oh, no, we're going to fucking do Autumn.
For an advantage as insipid as this fucking competition is.
Which we'll come to. So, all right.
Yeah.
So, when you think Autumn...
Yeah. Venison, duck, fucking...
Fish!
Pomegranates.
Fish! But it was okay because it was autumn-themed. And you know why it was autumn-themed?
Because it's fish and chips in autumn.
Because you had the colour orange on the plate.
Well, carrots are in autumn and winter, and so are parsnips. They're autumnal.
Well, at one point, Gary basically said, all the stuff around the fish is autumn. It's like, what? What are we doing? We're just inventing rules now.
Okay, well, it's just just want to rewind us back a little bit, right? And that was supposed to be me rewinding, not being a murloc. This is my murloc call, by the way. It sounds like murloc, yes?
It's very close to a murloc.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So we wind back, and there's Ben, and he's got his ingredients out. And, you know, we're in finals week. We're in people, you know, needing to step up and show their talent and their skills and blah, blah, blah. And Gary goes, "Oh, tarragon. Is that really going to go with the flavour profiles of what you got there?" And then fucking step by step basically tells Ben, lose the fucking tarragon because it ain't going to work. Ben goes afterwards, and this is so fucking male, it's not funny. He's like, "Oh, I really pushed myself to find the flavours." No, you fucking didn't. The judges told you to do something different, so you did. You didn't push yourself. You listened to the judges who shouldn't have been fucking mentoring you at this point for an advantage in the first place, and you claimed it as your own fucking idea. Every woman who is listening to this podcast goes, "I know that fucking feeling." But when you have your idea claimed by someone else. Okay. Fast forward to where we're up to. The fish.
So, the fish. They, at one point tonight, more importantly, Ben crowned Sashi the Flavour King. If you want to go back and listen to last series Masterchef podcast, I think you'll find Aram is the Flavour King.
Sorry, Ben.
I even sang it.
This is not a pageant.
I even sang it. I sang, "He is a Flavour King. Indeed, hurrah for the Flavour King."
And his name is Aram.
And I've caught up with the Flavour King, and he is the Flavour King.
Yeah.
All right.
Back down, bitches. You can't just willy-nilly go out handing out crowns to people when they're already on someone else's head.
Strange chefs in kitchens distributing crowns is no basis for a system of government. Supreme kitchen power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical kitchen ceremony. Anyway, back to this. I'd never believed in the power apron.
No.
But you know what? After tonight, I miss the power apron. I've got to quote this tweet. It's from Matty Jojo Jr. on Twitter. Great name. "Don't worry, Khan and Jess. The super duper mega size wondrous advantage will be a huge dud for sure." To which I responded with, "And then they'll get to fight for the wop bopaloo boppa wop bam boom advantage tomorrow." And we were all going, "Oh, this advantage is going to be shit. This advantage is going to be crap." You have Ben making his autumn fish. Sure. Sashi making his autumn lamb. Again, not to point it out, but lamb is spring. Yes, you can eat it all year round. Again, it's not a shot at Sashi.
No.
It's a shot at the rules of the contest and the concept of the idea of cooking with seasons, especially things like autumn. So we're talking about how shit it is. We're talking about how this advantage is going to suck, but God, we really hope Sashi wins, and Twitter was hoping Sashi wins and going, "Yeah, Ben, do something good and we'll like you, but Sashi deserves this." And they decide that Ben deserves it and gets the prize, and what Ben gets as his prize, and this is the joy of this moment, because I'm like, oh shit. And then they go, "You get to pick what you cook tomorrow in the challenge." And then the bit that George yells is, "And I icebergs in Sydney. So what Ben won as a reward was to pick the ingredient in another challenge.
No, not ingredient.
And what he cooks.
The course.
And what he cooks, yeah.
He gets to pick the course.
Yeah, but he gets to pick that in another challenge that, again, isn't an elimination. That's not a reward. What happened last year when everyone got, from the Mystery Box Challenge, got to pick an ingredient?
You fucked.
You all got fucked up and you all ended up in elimination.
You basically should have just shoved it up your ass because it would have been less painful.
So this is...
I'm talking about the box, not the ingredient.
Depends on what it is.
The chocolate box would have been quite messy, though.
So what ends up... Appropriate, but messy. So what ends up happening?
Yeah.
Ben wins an absolutely ridiculous advantage. We get another challenge tomorrow night off the back of what is basically, when you look at what it was tonight was a complete filler episode. It is completely pointless. We are in the last fucking week. As they pointed out, 4 cooks between you and the end.
Yeah.
They didn't need to make this episode. This is an episode that didn't need to exist because it did nothing. It served zero purpose. It filled a little bit of advertising time, so they're probably getting Coles sponsorship money.
Yep.
That's why they did an extra episode of it. But then tomorrow night we get another challenge.
That's as pointless as tonight.
No, because then there's an elimination at the back of it.
Yes,
so one person goes directly through to the semi-final, which is code 4, doesn't go through to elimination. 3 people cook off for the idea of one of them goes home, which gets us to the semi-final on Sunday night where Heston Blumenthal will appear, I'm assuming out of a fat duck, and then, which will be edible. And then after that we send somebody home on Sunday night, and then there'll probably be some long-winded tail end of that. And then Monday or Tuesday or who the fuck knows when this thing is.
I reckon Monday will be that stupid, the judges are going to do the cooking and you guys are going to be the judges instead. Farcical bullshit that we got last year on Monday night. And then Tuesday we'll get the actual grand final, which will probably, again, be poorly edited, and we'll see that someone else won but they're not announced as the winner. And then we'll be free. So, what do we take out of the last couple of nights? Chloe's gone. I take that, first of all. Yeah.
Secondly,
at all costs, you need a cisgendered white heterosexual man in the game. Okay. Otherwise, it's not real.
The other thing I would take out of this personally, and this is the personal thing I take out of it, and it's a bigger point, the 10 years is starting to show.
Yep.
We need to revamp. We talked about it the other night on the podcast, which went really well, and everyone's feedback was brilliant. Thank you for that. Everyone talked about the changes that need to happen on this show. Some of them involve the people on the show. Some of them involve the format of the show. Some of them involve the ethos of the show. There needs to be an overhaul. And it's not because Masterchef is shit.
No.
The general show and the idea and the concept is solid and it's good. And
what
when it's done at its best is great. But the problem is with any show format, you need to do a bit of a retooling and a revamping at some point. You need to sit down. You need to have a blue sky session. You need to have a find storm. You need to put all of your ideas together. You need to put it through the razzle-dazzle filter. It'll pop out the other end of the razzle-dazzle filter as a show that everyone goes, they've invigorated this thing, they've fixed it.
I don't think it needs invigoration. Or revamping. I think it needs the love back.
Yes.
It's not in the old days, like the boom shake the room, you'd roll your eyes and go, oh, here we go. And it'd be a little bit annoying, but it's like your daggy uncle or aunt, getting out there and going, oh, here's my trick again. Oh,
look at me lose my finger.
Yeah. But over the years, we've come to learn that George Columbaris is a wanker and rips off his staff. Gary has lost the passion for the show.
He hasn't looked interested.
No. Preston is trying really hard but is definitely burnt out. The producers have no care or love or respect for their contestants.
Like this week we said about this.
Yeah.
The challenges have been almost like we can't be bothered. Here, you do it.
The editors have gotten sloppy.
Yep.
There's just no care, there's no love, there's no attention to a show that could be brilliant. And it's what makes me so fed up with it because I can't see it changing. It's a cash cow.
Here's the other thing. When MasterChef started, and they talk about this all the time, they talked about it at the start when all the promos, there was really this food television idea in Australia wasn't very big.
Yep.
Right? There wasn't much of it. We are now in a marketplace where you are saturated with quality. Forget fucking My Kitchen Rules. We're not even talking about that.
No, that's not quality.
And we're not even talking about the Great Australian Bake Off, even though it is the highest quality one of those.
We're talking about SBS and Netflix churning out...
SBS Food is producing a lot of quality. Netflix, as you said, is just doing some amazing things.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of shows with heart coming out and telling different stories through different voices. It's... when we look at Bourdain, I mean, his death sent shockwaves through because he has been an authentic, loving voice in the food world. And that's what true connoisseurs of food shows are about. They want to see the best in people and they want to learn and they want to experience. Where I've been frustrated and like with the contestants is that you can see where their potential lies and you can see how they're just being used in this show at this point in time. You can
hear we're burnt, right?
Yeah.
Go and look at the social media. Social media is burnt out, and the reason why they're finishing the show is because they've invested all of this fucking time to get to the end of it. If it is up to them, most of them, people wouldn't be finishing. And we can say this, and if you go and check our Twitter feed, there are lots of people listening to us to get the recap and not watching the show. That's not talking us up in any way, shape or form.
No, because if you want a proper recap, this is not the place to come to.
But we are putting ourselves through it, and they're going, well, you're putting yourself through it. We'll just listen to what you say about it, and if there's worth popping back in, we'll pop back in. The show can be so much better. We want a good show. We love this show when it's absolutely brilliant. Last night was, not a bad episode, regardless of Chloe going home or anyone. It wasn't a bad episode. And then every time they take a step forward, they run backwards with the next episode and do something really fucking dumb. And by the end of tonight, you could just feel everybody who was watching this show just felt let down by the fact they watched an episode which was utterly useless and pointless and drove nothing. It didn't drive a narrative. It didn't drive the competition. It didn't drive the contestants. It was just an episode.
Yep.
And that is all it was. And all this talk now, it's a little bit like the Chicken Little. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. If you keep telling us how wonderful advantages are and they're not, no one is going to fucking believe a word you say. Credibility gap is developing in this show with the judging. It's developing in this show with the format. Fix the fucking problem. I hope whoever sits down and does this meeting at the end of the year where they sit down and go back over the format, looks at this season and doesn't just pat themselves on the back and go, great work, goes, what can we do?
My fear is that they'll be looking at the checkbook. What's our revenue? Where did we go?
Well, the revenue is big and that's the problem.
And the thing is, okay, Channel 10 was in dire straits last year, till CBS came and rescued it and bought it out. That's no excuse for what is produced in this show. That is...
Be better.
You don't need money to make a good show.
So hopefully... Yeah. Thursday night, we are far more positive. Mm-hmm. We believe there's 2 episodes coming up. Who the hell knows? Believe it's Wednesday, Thursday. So Thursday night we'll be back anyway. Hopefully with a far more upbeat. We really don't like having to rant, but unfortunately they just keep fucking it up.
I also think there's a challenge for us people who do love MasterChef and do love the contestants that come on and put themselves out there. And that's to find what those contestants are doing now and support them.
Yep.
If you don't have to go to the ones that you didn't connect with, but if there's a contestant that you connected with, find a way to support them.
There's pop-ups everywhere. There are people doing things all over the place. Huda and Aldo's event has sold out, by the way. They've already sold out. People are supporting them all over the place.
Yep.
But if you see any of these people that, have great talent, you want to go and support whatever they're doing, do it. That's the way to support the contestants.
Yeah. Improve their life after MasterChef. We have the ability to do that because it's not... you know, that whoever gets the $250,000, that's all well and good, but what are you going to do with that?
It's what you make with the opportunity you're given, and there are some people who make absolutely brilliant decisions. Again, Ben Ungerman from last year is an example. Eloise is doing amazing stuff.
You've got Callum, who's got his cooking school.
Yeah, Callum's doing great things. Obviously, you've got, Poe.
There's a lot of people who get TV deals, and this is not to detract from them because that's well and good, but there's a lot of people who just go out and get their qualifications and end up in a restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, like from last year, I know Aaron was doing amazing things as well. You've got, again, a lot of people from this year have been doing a lot of, and you see all that work experience stuff, they're actually doing work experience. They're not just sort of putting that down and going, oh, I worked here for a bit. Yeah. They're actually going off and doing that, and they're coming up with really good ideas. Give them the support where you can, and that sort of helps to make the show a bit better too, because it gives these people a feeling more of support. Yeah. Because we've all seen it, we've all been part of it. It can be a bit of a lonely place at times. So, help them out. Yeah. Do what you can. Be positive. Be the positive change you want to see in the world. That's what we're hoping to do for next episode. Yeah. So until next episode, I'm still Chris.
I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all then.
Bing.